Okay, so this video is about uh, why more guys should cheat, and here's why: is because the fact that women have hope in finding a guy that does not cheat. That's the reason they'll break up with a man, whereas they wouldn't if they accepted, hey, 100% of men cheat. Then there'd be no point in breaking up with one. So I'm gonna give you kind of an anecdotal story, and also give you some examples. So I'm sure everyone's heard a woman that says, all guys cheat, and I've heard that numerous times over the years. And if I knew the person, or if it was like a intimate conversation, I would always ask, well, then why does it make any sense to cheat? If you really believe all guys cheat, it makes no sense to leave a man for cheating when you're 100% certain your next man is going to cheat. It sounds stupid. And they would always say, well, there's always that hope that maybe I'll find one that doesn't, right? And just to give you an actual anecdotal story I had with a friend. So I had this friend that knew for about, 20 years or so, just under 20 years. We first met when she was 21 and fit, right? Very, very pretty woman, cool personality. And for like the first 4 or 5 years, she dated like a lot of athletes. Like this was in Sacramento. Her and a couple of her friends knew like some of the bars that the 49ers would frequent. And so when they were in town, they'd head up there to those bars about, hour and a half away from San Francisco, and would date some athletes. But the athletes would cheat. And so that would be the reason she would never like want to marry one or be committed, because didn't want to accept the life of a cheater. Fast forward about 26, 27 years old, started dating a lawyer. And he cheated as well. So she dealt with that for a while, left him. Now she's, near 30, packed on some pounds, not quite as attractive as she was at 21, and no longer getting attention from like, professional athletes or guys with like high-end six-figure jobs. And then ends up dating a drug dealer, having a baby with him. Obviously didn't work out. And fast forward another 5 years, about 35, now 60, 70 pounds has been gained since the time she was 21. Like her value on the dating marketplace, not just for having a kid, but just from like general attraction, has plummeted from the time she was 21 till 35. And then ends up with like an average Joe that also cheated on her. And so I looked at just kind of that 20-year sample of dating, and every single guy cheated. But as she aged, the caliber of guy went down. So it's like, if you're going to end up accepting a cheater, why not get the highest caliber cheater you can and settle down with them, as opposed to just like blowing 20 years, your youth, your beauty, the time you didn't have kids, and then ending up with an average Joe that still cheated on you. And so I don't think 100% of guys cheat, but I think most guys cheat. I wouldn't know the percentages, but I'd venture to guess, of the guys that have options, that are attractive and have a high enough value on the dating marketplace to where they can get women reasonably easy, I would think maybe 90% of them would step outside their relationship. Now, I'm fortunate in my case where I just have never had that desire. Like, I don't commit to a woman unless I really want to just kind of date one woman, and if I do, I don't step outside. Only because I don't mind being single. So if I don't like the woman I'm with, I have no problem like breaking up without having something lined up and being single for a period of time. Some people don't want to break up with a companion unless they have something else lined up immediately, and so that might be some of the reasons they cheat. So, but I don't have like a moral issue with a guy feeling like he might need more than one woman at a time. And so I don't put myself on a higher level than them morally just because I happen not to have the desire. If I did have the desire, then I would incorporate that into my life, and it'd be what it is. I've never really had that issue with desiring more than one companion at a time. But anyway, and I don't want to make it too much about me. But so I think the solution would be, if all guys cheated, then I think women wouldn't leave men that did cheat if they were certain that the next guy was going to cheat. It would make it stupid to leave a guy for cheating if you know, hey, this is just what guys do. So what's the equivalent when it comes to women? I would say it's nagging. I would say if you ask most guys, they'll say, you know, all women nag. To varying degrees, some more than others, but they'll say in general, all women nag. So it doesn't even make sense for a guy to look for a woman that never nags and never bitches, because that's not reasonable. Now, I bet you there are some women out there that don't nag, that don't bitch, but I feel like I have a better chance of seeing Bigfoot than I do of finding one of those. So because of that, you just accept, guys in general just kind of accept this fact, and now you just look for a woman that, okay, if she's gonna nag, at least she does it at a frequency and at an intensity level that I can handle without snapping, getting violent, or losing my mind. It's something that I can actually manage. And it's funny, I would argue that it's more detrimental to a guy than cheating is to a woman. There was a study done that actually showed dealing with a nagging partner significantly reduces life expectancy. And it may account for the gap between the guy's life expectancy and a woman's life expectancy. And it says the more intense the nagging, the more frequently, the larger the impact it could be on death. So where you could be shaving 5, 6, 7, 10 years off a guy's life if the nagging is frequent enough and intense enough. So that's huge. I don't think most women would think that, hey, I'm killing my husband by doing this behavior. They might be open to stopping. But the issue I have is guys don't attack it. The media don't attack women for doing that. It's that we don't shame women for nagging. It's just kind of accepted. Whereas guys, their nature a lot of time is to date more than one woman or sleep with more than one woman occasionally. And yet they're shamed literally for being who they are in a way that women aren't. And I've always thought that was unfair, even though I didn't have the desire to do it. I always thought that like how you shame a person simply for being who they are. And so something that's ingrained in them to do, they're made to feel awful about themselves or ridiculed for just being a guy. And so I would wonder where women aren't treated that way. And so I would wonder if women would be willing to make the same kind of sacrifice they're making a guy to make, which is suppress the urges that he has just for being a guy. Would a woman be willing to suppress urges that she has that are maybe more associated with just being a woman? Then that would be nagging. I wonder if a woman would make the deal of, I'll agree to never nag you and never nag you, never bitch, if you agree to never cheat. That to me would be a fair trade-off, a fair equivalent. And I have a feeling that there are millions of guys that if their woman made that offer to them, would take them up on that offer. And it'd probably be a cold winter for side pieces across the country. But I have a feeling a lot of women wouldn't be willing to make that offer. And if they did make it, I don't think a lot of women could really last that long. I think you see a lot of women failing after a couple of days or a week or two. And I just think it's interesting that conversation never gets brought up of the fact that that's the female equivalent of nagging and bitching, and yet guys just kind of accept them for who they are. Yet guys aren't really accepted for who we are because women have a problem with it. And you just don't hear guys complain as much about nagging. But I think it bothers guys as much as cheating bothers women. Guys just kind of shut up and deal with it. And women are very vocal about how they're bothered. But I have a feeling the discomfort level is equal. And it may be even more damaging to men's lives than cheating is to a woman's life as far as life expectancy is concerned. So to take away that problem, the solution to me would be just more guys cheating. Just like 100% or near 100% of women nag. If 100% of guys cheated, then I think there'd be a lot less breakups, a lot more two-parent households. If women really understood there'd be no need, no benefit to leaving a man for cheating when the next guy's going to do the same thing. All right. So if you're out there and you're thinking about stepping out on your lady and you've never done it before, you know, cheating might just help your community in a weird way. Anyway, until next time, be different.